We got the best smoke on the West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. Hands to the sky, like in round pride in the sets again. Erase the color line. Let's run on my Mexican. Our people have been here long before colonizers came. Catch the devil slipping, blow out the pilgrims. Police still killing, black and brown brothers. They don't give a fuck. Another ship about to return and pick my people up. Watch me swim in gold like I am Scrooge McDuck. Twinkle leafy, a spirit of California. Praise the ancient goddess, light up a marijuana. Roll up the tree, set fire to the ganja. The Fuego isn't the Diablo, always starting problems. Wear the wrong color on this coat, guaranteed to text my blood. Activate my pyramids in California, in Mexico. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast.
Represented, I'm the hardest in it. Fuck the critics, ain't nobody hard as gritty. Black and brown come together, we ain't backing down. I've been in the hardy city, got the bloodline of a king. Gotta come together, we all in the same game. One God, one universe, all unity, and ain't shit changed. Gotta mount up, but they dumb us down with that fake shit that they teach us now. We been living in the belly of the devil, battling so we can make it out. Fuck the politics and the president, fuck the White House till they let us in. We gon' go to war, we ain't hesitant. If they want to smoke, then I'm a hell of shit. We the last living of a dying breed. Ain't nobody with the pen as hard as me. Every time I rap it hit an artery. Ain't nobody fucking with my artistry. We the holy guys, we invented time. We gon' send a missile like it's Lebanon. I been eating rappers like it's dinner time. Suckers hibernating like it's winter time.
Best smoke on the West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast.
All aboard! It is time to hop aboard my spaceship, cause you are now tuned into what is the Matrix TV. I'm your handsome, beautiful, extraterrestrial alien host, Dr. Jason E. Williams, better known as Jason Elm Street Williams, but officially Doctor of Education. And as always, I have to introduce a goddess, a empress, a deity, the one and only Empress El-Anubi. So let's get it started, goddess. What's good with you today?
Thank you. Good to be here. Oh, I'm just trying to stay warm or cold. I don't know. It's bipolar weather out here in California. But shout out to everybody else out there who's freezing. I hope you stay warm. Sincerely. But what we got going on today, Dr. Jason? What's going on? What we talking about?
Let's see. I'm trying to get this. There we go. Well, no, America. There we go. Well, today let's get it started. So, it's Make Heaven Crowded Tour 2026. So let's get it going. Erica Kirk in Riverside, California. Oh my goodness. So right here, we see the Matrix unfolding right in front of your eyes. Let me turn it down a little for y'all. So in Riverside, California, as we plug in the Matrix video game, as it comes closer to home, the now Riverside, you already know West Coast, I promise y'all it's gonna come out here. It's California. So there's no coincidence that the first stop for Erica Kirk, the wife of Charlie Kirk, who I say was a fake assassination. I said that Donald Trump getting shot in the ear, that was fake, that was staged. And I also said that the whole Charlie Kirk thing was staged. Mm-hmm. And now we have this wife in Riverside. They say Los Angeles, but as you guys know, Riverside County is outside of Los Angeles. It's the metropolitan of Los Angeles. But Riverside County is the I think the 13th or second. It's one of the top 10 biggest counties in the country. And if you combine Riverside County and San Bernardino County, I believe it's the biggest county in the country. The San Bernardino is like 1 or 2, and Riverside County's up there. And Riverside City, for those watching, Riverside City is the 13th largest city in California. So interesting, that number 13, you know. So
wow. I didn't even think about that.
Right. So as we start getting into it, I wanted to get the episode going. So I'm gonna share the screen for y'all so y'all know what's going on in beautiful, crazy Riverside, California. So we're gonna share the screen, and there were riots, there were protests. Someone got murdered that night or the next day down the street. So all this is taking place literally in my city, down the street. The church is a predominantly white Christian church we're going to get into, where she went to, Harvest. I remember going there as a kid and it was racist. But and Empress Ella News going to break down her gifts. But here we go as we start introduction.
I used to live down the street from there. Don't we know him?
We do.
We know him.
Whoa. Look at him. I want y'all to, but I'm going to show y'all this though. I'm going to show y'all me and Empress Ella News experience with this racist troglodyte. Here we go.
Yeah. Calm down. Don't fucking call me a colonizer, bro. What are you?
Is it playing or is it another one? Hold on.
I'm filming this, you guys.
Colonizer. No, you're a colonizer, bro. I'm a colonizer. Bro, you came up here. They came up to me, bro. I didn't come up to you. I asked you, right? Are you gonna? Yeah, I am. So lower your motherfucking voice. Right. Like I have a right to do. You know, about it, bro. I'll say whatever the fuck I want to. All right. You want to go to jail? Is that what you want? You want to go to jail? Bro, why don't you disrespect another person? You live at what I said. You came up here and got in my face, start talking shit.
That's one. Here we go. That's one of them. And saying he was spilling his Christian music
on the street corner.
My bad, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Is it this?
Yeah, I
one?
was filming that as you're looking for it, and right when we got off the car, I heard that song by Prince. Controversy.
What'd you say, babe?
I said I heard the song by Prince in my head.
Bro, I ain't taking shit from nobody. You came and got in my face. While I'm singing, bro. Bro, you get out there. You're in my fucking space now, bro. Bro. I dare you to fucking swing on me, bro, right now. You're about to go to jail, dude. You better fucking get on. You better chill out. I told you I'm a fucking report. Good. You came over here calling me a colonizer, got in my face while I'm on practicing my First Amendment rights. You don't have any right to violate. Then give me some space.
And then the last one.
Shout out to Riverside Police Department. Whoop, whoop.
For real. For real.
Downtown Riverside Police Department.
And thank you, Empress, for recording.
Compliments of my filming. Thank you. That's all.
But yeah, he was spilling his Christian stuff. I came with the headdress, wouldn't turn it down. This horrible music, but just the it's their. I didn't feel it's their how do I describe it? It's like a presence that they feel that they have over us, that they could quickly call the police, that they could just spew their hate. Like I was saying, when I'm hearing him sing these Christian and Jesus songs, and I'm vibing. If you guys have ever been to downtown Riverside or any major downtown in America, those are Moorish buildings. Those are Moorish castles. Those are Moorish temples, ancient Commission, ancient Roman, Etruscan buildings. Basically, are ancient buildings. Really, not even ancient. It's the same day under the sun, or under the same sun. So at the end of the day, when you're downtown Riverside and you do have knowledge of self, you could feel the vibration. You could see the castles. You could see Mount Rubidoux. And then you see this troglodyte singing, as I feel, these racist songs. When I now see these troglodytes singing about Jesus Christ and bragging about Jesus as their Lord and Savior, that's a war call. Because a lot of our people have been so colonized that we forget that our ancestors were murdered by these people, murdered in the name of Jesus, murdered in the name of God, by bloodshed, to get this reality that we are currently living in. So at this time, we do got to speak up. And if you watch the video again, you see how quickly he was saying to call the police, saying I was in his face. I was disturbing him, as if it's their world. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a group of psycho people, what they now call Christian white nationalists, which are basically racist. Go ahead. And so when you see ICE, when you see the white Christian movement, as we're going to get into it with Erica Kirk, as we're going to get into Candace Owens tonight, this is an uprising of their final call of white supremacy. This is their final flag. This is their final war cry before, like I say, Trump and Elon and all of them bringing out their robots, and they're going to attempt to kill us as indigenous people, just like they did throughout history. So I'm going to ask the first question to Empress Ella Nu as we start. What do you start thinking of when you see Erica Kirk coming to Riverside as her first stop, but also make heaven crowded? What does that mean to make heaven crowded tour to you, Empress?
It means to make heaven crowded. They're trying to lump everyone up, and they're going to enforce Christianity onto everyone, like they've been doing. But like you said, it's their final attempt. This has been going on since we read the Bible. They've been going in there trying to make everyone Christian, and they're killing folks. So it's a repeat. It's a repeat of what they've, like you said, what they've been doing. And it's in the Bible, talks about it in the Bible. They're killing folks and converting them into Christians. And if you don't announce it that Jesus Christ is Lord, you got to go. So, and my daughter, I don't know what goes on. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't pay attention to the news. I find this stuff out either when you say we're going to do a live, I find out that day. This particular topic, my daughter runs in the room and she goes, Mom, she goes, and she's 13, you guys. She goes, Erica Kirk doesn't love her husband. And she starts laughing. She's like, she's over here having meetings and going places and traveling and doing conferences, and her husband passed away. She's like, she's not even grieving. Okay, so you got kids, they're putting two and two together. It's like, yo, your husband died, but you're over here laughing and you're having a good time, not like someone who had a husband who passed away, which tells me that it is staged, it's fake. You know, people that experience a death of someone that they love isn't going to be up and, you know, having conferences and going on tour and whatnot. You should be at home grieving or, you know, working through whatever transpired or happened. So yes, this is all a stage. This is all a set. Hollywood. This is part of Hollywood. The question should be, for those of you that are falling for this, why you keep showing up to the set? Believe in everything that they're doing to you. You're an extra. You're an extra in their world. You're an extra. What do they call the SAG? What's that called when you're an extra? Actor, you're not the main character, you're an extra for them. They need your energy. So what they do is they use the TV screen as the stage. They program you by you sitting there watching all the nonsense play out, thinking that it's real and it's true, and that's how they get their energy. So people fall for all the bullshit.
This is Riverside, y'all. Coming home, watch our TV show. It's happening. You see how we're manifesting this? We are revealing the matrix right here in the podcast. Real time in my city. You're seeing it play out. This is why collective consciousness is real. Look at all these people.
Look, I got eyes on you. Fuck you, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, motherfucker. I'm a Marine Corps fucking veteran. I served in Iraq. Motherfucker, my daughter's a sergeant in the fucking Marine Corps. My son is a fucking Marine Corps.
You be ashamed of yourself, fucker. You be ashamed of yourself. You think it's fun? Fuck you. Fuck you. Smiling at me? Okay, get that acting check.
Now, is this real? Is this acting?
Hey, you're not ashamed. What's your name?
This is Indian land. And we're going to get into the churches. That's what's going on. Let me press this one. So Erica Church calls for a Christian revival as tour starts in Riverside, California. And then as we get into it, I want to show you Candace. They say the pastor's a pedophile. And then last, as we get into it, we gotta bring this up. You know who I'm talking about, y'all.
Did you know Candace Owens used to be a video vixen? Before she got famous, she appeared in a music video for Young Steph featuring Mano. She wasn't the main girl, she was only on screen for a few seconds. This is shocking because Candace Owens is the type of woman who criticizes women for doing this, yet she did it herself. At the time, she was signed to an agency called Explore Talent and trying to break into acting and modeling. Her part in the video was very short, maybe because she couldn't dance.
In an interview with Fresh and Fit, she hinted at having a darker past and mentioned that her best friend was a groupie who used to sleep with famous men.
I actually had a friend, ironically, in Miami who, we were best friends all through high school, went to a club one night, and our luck somehow ended up with meeting, Wyclef and Lil Wayne, and she just turned the whole life. And I remember I was so broke, and she was living in a condo in Miami. We were in our early 20s. I was visiting her coming from school, and she gave up school, sleeping with everybody, Drake, but she was living in imagine I'm 20 years old, and I was 19, I think, and she was living, it was like she had so much, and
where's she at now?
Well, I'm gonna update you on her story real quick, right? And she was so innocent, but then she just was effing everybody, and every rapper was paying for her. And I remember vividly crying on the phone with my friend named Devin, and I was just like, it's so unfair. She has everything. And it's like, if only I just slept with this guy, I could have everything that he has. And he said, Candace, if you think that in 10 years your life is not going to be better than hers, you're out of your mind. Promise you, stop being friends with her. After I just couldn't look at her do this to her life anymore. And 10 years later, almost to the day, I was with Charlie Kirk. We walked into the Four Seasons Hotel in Los Angeles, and she was the hostess.
Wow, working.
Wow.
Oh shit. Who recognized him first?
We both we were
literally
literally best friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Inseparable sisters, and the temptation, the money, the whatever from that one night. And she threw herself at the rappers too. It wasn't it was Wyclef Jean. It wasn't like he was being she threw herself at him, whole thing. And it was wild. And actually, funny enough, then I went and started working out of school, and I was working in private equity. And my boss got married, and he wanted to get Wyclef Jean. So I hadn't seen Wyclef since and then I saw him, and he said to me, I'll never forget this, in the elevator, I am so proud of you for where you ended up in life. And because you just knew that I was the friend that said no. Wow. She was a friend that said yes. And so when I say this stuff to women, I understand how easy it is, and I understand how hard it is to get off your feet. And I was the person crying, being oh my God, it could be so easy. But I'm telling you, it's just not worth it. And I want all of you guys to just hear that message and know that you just don't have to live in the fast lane, live in the slow lane.
Did you?
Why did Charlie think he was a time traveler? He said, as I showed you in earlier messages, that he was a time traveler and he had to find me. I tell you, I read these messages and I'm going, what is this? What is reality, actually? His death and the manner that they did it changed the world in ways that I don't think we can fully realize. You just cannot pretend that all of this is one big unhappy coincidence. It's entirely plausible, I think, but they knew something about Charlie. And that's why they had him marked and had him monitored and had him likely followed since he was young. And maybe they thought, like the agents think, that if they swarmed him and they stayed with him and they pretended to be his friend, that ultimately they could control Charlie. And for the first time in his life, Charlie peeks his head up and starts to push back. And their solution was, no, just kill him. Why did Charlie think he was a time traveler?
And then laugh.
I would say, obviously, Turning Point was an organization, but it wasn't the organization. It wasn't this behemoth of an organization that it became. He had no real degree of fame. I think that's fair. But he was required to have security on him at all times. That was orchestrated. His security, Schaefer's security, was orchestrated by Bill Montgomery, and he was from the military. He founded Turning Point USA with Charlie. Thinking about that, the security, him texting saying, I'm not allowed to go anywhere, I feel so important. And it makes me think that Charlie may have been marked since he was a child. We've discussed these GATE programs that they have in school. And I just think on the basis of what he told me, that when he was really young, they wanted to drug him, but his mother said no, and he was really grateful for that. And instead, they decided that they could send him to this X-Men school. And I am of the opinion he's been monitored since. And a lot of weird things used to happen to Charlie. He would go on runs after sundown, and when he was running, street lights would go out. Like it was like he was in a burst of energy, like he was a lightning bolt or something. So yeah, there's other explicable events.
There you go. So what does this all mean, guys? As we close out this Matrix hologram, let's answer it. We always look at the so-called white man, but truly it's his mother who's in charge. It's the queen. It's the so-called white woman. It's the sorority. Because as we know, the divine feminine is coming into power. So this is why you see the Karens. This is why you see the Donald Trump. This is why you see the blood sacrifice of in Hollywood, the Charlie Kirk. Then you see right here on the bottom, the so-called Candace Owens trying her best to get through into the white woman's world. So as we really start introing the show, what do you feel about all this? I know you don't get lost in all this, but do you see a connection as the white woman being the voice of the white Christian national movement as the last stand for white America? Where do you see this going, Empress El Anu?
Perhaps. I mean, likely. I don't see that being anything different, though. White woman being the voice for Christianity, that I remember growing up seeing that. So that could be the case.
I hear it. So
yeah,
as we start the show, we always talk about male secret societies. We always talk about control of the system. But as we go into the divine feminine, we will start seeing that basically Charlie Kirk, I wrote down blood sacrifice for the European mother goddess to resurrect. We talk about Queen Elizabeth, Princess Diane, but in the biggest, I would say, would have been Hillary Clinton, who did win the president election, and Donald Trump stole that. So we still have yet to see that supreme white woman in power of this generation. The closest that we've seen is Hillary Clinton. So Erica Kirk could be getting prepped to run for president. Think about it. She could also run for vice president, you know, because if Donald Trump doesn't leave office, who's going to be his vice president? And if he does, who is going to be strong enough to run? So I wanted Empress El Anu to get into this as we start getting into the church. So basically that's what all this was really about to get into, was white culture in the church. But go ahead, Empress L. I know I've been running my mouth.
As far as what, Harvest Church? What do you want to know about Harvest? I used to live right down the street.
So as we start the show and get into it, let them know about Harvest, where they actually saw the protest just now, and where Erica Kirk just started her first Let's Make Heaven Crowded tour. What was your experience going to Harvest? And then once again, y'all, Harvest, the blood harvest, the blood sacrifice, because we're talking about deities that we're talking about a group of people that go around murdering in the name of their God to destroy our indigenous cultures, and their God murdered their own begotten son. In order to receive eternal life, you have to drink the blood of Jesus Christ, eat the crackers, and which represents the flesh or the bread. So what type of rituals did you notice? What was your experience?
I was under a spell, so I don't think I noticed any rituals at the moment. But especially when it comes to Harvest specifically, I lived right down the street from there. Of course, I told you my dad was a pastor, so I was even though my soul was never connected to Christianity ever since I was going to church at like 5-6 years old. It's been embedded in me. So when I became an adult and moved, Harvest Church was right down the street. I was trying to get my son. I think they had just had a school. I wanted my son to go to that private school. I didn't attend, it wasn't like my church I went to every Sunday like that. I had another church, but because it was close by, and I was taught growing up that you had to go to church every Sunday. So it didn't matter as long as you go to church every Sunday. And so that church was right down the street. It was a very nice church, had a coffee shop inside of it, had a school. I'm sure it's bigger now. But I do remember also hearing Greg Laurie speak about how Harvest Crusades got started. Because I think there's one also, if I'm not mistaken, off of Marietta, Hot Springs in Marietta. I think that's where they had a Harvest school. Yeah, I gotta look that up. Because I remember someone telling me they graduated from there. Now it's what is it called? It's the Hot Springs, like Glen Ivy, but now it's the Hot Springs. But before that, it was a college where you can get your I guess you can get some sort of certification or something like that to be a pastor. So I remember Harvest Crusades is founded by Greg Laurie in 1990 as like an evangelical Christian organization that has significantly impacted evangelism through large scale events and outreach efforts. So I remember him saying, Greg Laurie, talking about how he was young. I think he was like in his 20s, and it was him and another pastor or someone else that converted him. They started this crusade and they went hard, and they have multiple churches. Harvest has multiple churches. That crusade, they have all over Orange County, out
Texas.
here, Riverside County. So it's kind of like a game. Yeah, it's like a game.
And then let them know the Angel Stadium fell out every year, y'all. If you guys ever come to Southern California, back in the day, they had stickers, the Harvest Crusade. And you guys got to remember what were the Crusades. Okay. So this is why when you guys come to Riverside County, outside of Los Angeles County, there's all these cults. There's all these secret societies. There's all these cults, and there's all these private schools that are based off of religion, and then also universities. But go ahead, Lana, were you saying something?
Oh yeah, my son went to a private school in Riverside. It was a Lutheran private school, and they were so racist to my baby. Okay, he's highly intelligent, borderline genius. He got his work done, kind of like how you are, Jason. He's got his work done. He always got A's. And because he was a little light-skinned boy amongst all the other white kids that were there, the teacher tried to pick on him, calling me up, talking about he's disruptive. And so I had to ask her, how many years have you been teaching for? And she's like, oh, 20-something years. I said, out of the 20-something years, you don't know when you see a highly intelligent child, you don't know that when they finish their work early, you should give them something else to do instead of picking on them and trying to make them out to be a devil or some sort of defiant child. You know, that's what they do with our intelligent children. So I had to basically go off on her, because you're not going to pick on my baby. But that's what my kid experienced. And I was a young mother, but I also knew I was going to stick up for my son, or I'll stick up for my kids in general, you know. But yeah, it was in Riverside, and it was a racist experience. I told that lady where to go and how to get there. They didn't like me after that. I didn't care. I was paying every month for my kid to be there. So at the end of the day, I don't feel bad for what I did. But yeah, you know, when I'm on this platform now and you're bringing these things to my attention, now that I play it back in my head, I realize how racist things were and how, you know, what I experienced in Riverside. But I didn't realize it was, yeah.
It's because out here, y'all, especially when we moved out here from Carson, the Klan and stuff is in Riverside County. You know, a lot of people talk about down south. There's a reason why they call it Southern California. You know, because it also, it's that Southern. I know people say the map, but in all actuality, it's very racist. Northern California is more free spirit. Southern California is racist, and then we also have now the racist Mexican gangs. So out here, when you watch movies like American History X, the movie Higher Learning, we're going to talk about that. Skinheads, the biker gangs, Hell's Angels. They had a motorcycle show, Sons of Anarchy. That's in Riverside County. The Mongols, that's in Riverside County. All that is Riverside County, y'all. Why? It's because, like I said, this is the Nile, the Santa Ana River and the Colorado River. Like they say, the Mississippi is the Nile River of down south. Well, the Colorado River connects to the Grand Canyon, and the Colorado River runs through Arizona. And so our Moorish ancient Commission ships would go through Riverside County, the Mojave Desert, all that, like Las Vegas. Las Vegas is basically connected to the Inland Empire, San Bernardino County, Riverside County. So all those, when you come to Riverside, you'll find Riverside County and San Bernardino County, you'll find castles all throughout Riverside.
Hemet too.
Castles, you'll find pyramid mounds, you'll see ancient Egyptian temples. All the names of Riverside County are ancient Moorish and ancient Egyptian names. Why? It's because they have to have a stronghold on ancient Indian land. And we understand that before the Treaty of Hidalgo, Riverside County was Mexico. Yeah. And so once again, old Mecca, old Mex. When we go to Mission Inn, see Moors. So that's why Harvest, Cal Baptist, when you go to Cal Baptist University, Division I, Cal Baptist, you see Moorish castles.
Yes, yes. Even the experience, I loved going to every Wednesday when I had class. I loved going in there because it was just the environment, you know, especially in the older buildings. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the newer buildings, but I had some classes in the older buildings, and the clock. That clock that would go off, the doo doo every hour. I used to hear that, and I used to sit in this like, damn, this place is old. You can feel the ancient, I don't know, I can't describe it, but it was just, when I was there, I was happy. Like I was happy there. I love the Cal Baptist. You know what I'm saying? Just driving downtown, getting there. It's just like you said, all those old buildings. So then I didn't get it, but when I meet you and you bring it to my attention, it's like, damn, like we really do live where all this is like the original land. You know what I'm saying? Like I was born in LA, raised in Pasadena. So when I was about 10 or 11, we moved to Fontana, good old Fontucky. And every time I went to Alder Junior High, shout out to Alder. I went to Alder Junior High, and let me tell you, see, Pasadena is more, what is it called? Culturized. So I had like a lot of friends, Jewish friends, Ethiopian friends, white friends. I had friends of different nationalities. But when I came to Fontana, and everybody was talking about the KKK, was right over the corner where Riverside was. It was like you had to go down close by the 60 freeway, and then you go over this hill. They're like, you go over that hill, that's where KKK lives. So I was like 6th, 7th grade. I used to be kind of like scared. You know, my parents still worked in Pasadena, so we were like, what do they call it, those latchkey kids? We had to walk home from school, and our parents were far away from home. And I remember feeling uncomfortable, thinking, am I going to get jumped by these white people? Because we had riots at my school in junior high.
Yes.
You feel me? Right, race riots. It would be like the blacks against the whites. The blacks against the whites and the Mexicans.
Yeah.
So I used to hear people say, I'm gonna beat your ass after school. And I'm like, this little, you know, light-skinned girl who's used to going to class and getting A's and minding my business, and I'm getting threats. So I had to learn how to be a little gangster. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do that. I want to just be happy and live my life and do what I do. But you had to get a backbone out there because it was racist. It was more racist than it was focused on education.
Exactly. And that's why this picture says why schools need more teachers of color for white students. Non-white educators can offer new and valuable perspectives for children of all backgrounds. When I moved to Riverside, you know, I was the only black kid in my class. And the Woods family, and then rest in peace to my friend and homie Chase Steele, who died, who was blood sacrifice in Travis Barker's plane crash. He stayed down the street, Chase Steele. Other than that, you talk about very racist environment. And so that's what we're doing on What is the Matrix TV, is questioning the reality. When we discuss, as we go into Black History Month next month, what did integration do to us psychologically? You know, personally, I look at it as being traumatized, being called nigger every day, having racist teachers. It goes to this picture as we started the show, y'all. When you go to college, you know that there's fraternities, but there's also sororities. And those white sorority girls, they're the ones who run your corporation too. They're the ones who you have right now. You have the white girls who F on the top black athletes and get them, and you usually see that outcome. And then you have those who are completely racist, just like the others, and they practice witchcraft. One thing about all sorority movies, if you guys watch sorority movies, they'll always show you that it involves blood sacrifice, witchcraft. But what they don't show you all the time is the male version of the troglodytes and the pale-skinned Europeans practicing magic. So it's, once again, if you guys study sororities and Greek fraternities, they're dealing with magic in college. They're learning who you are in college. For some of us who are superstars and top so-called black people on the college campus, for one, for those of us who attended major universities and Cal States, you'll quickly learn that there's only a few black people on the college campus. And the majority of the black people on the college campus are the athletes. So if you take away all the athletes of all the colleges in America, there really are no black people going to college. Go look in, I want everyone today watching this and tonight, go look at the college basketball games, football and basketball, and look who's in the stands of the student body. You see black kids basically playing football and basketball, and a bunch of white kids cheering. Those are your sororities and fraternities, and there's Alpha Chi Kappa, Greek. There's so many different Greek fraternities that you guys should really start being aware of, that you're behind enemy lines. And so as I pass the mic to Empress El Anu, what was your college experience? As we look at the bottom, we see Black women in sororities, the Deltas, the Kappas, the AKAs, but truly they're still trying to get into the white Greek fraternities and sororities. What was your experience with sororities in college?
None. I'm a loner.
Okay.
So I'm a loner. I didn't talk to people. I just came to school, did my work, went home. That's what I did. Mind my business, straight up. But my daughter did get called a nigger a couple of weeks ago. You know, that word gets, you know, passed around out here in Canyon Lake very, very a little too easily. You know what I'm saying? And I had to talk to her about it. Remember I told you she said she was playing with her friends. She has a little cousin here, but her cousin is white because of my sister-in-law. You know, it's her niece. So she was hanging out with her and another little girl, and they said that some high school kids were passing in this car and they called them niggers. So, and I had to explain it to her. You know, I get it. It's fucked up, but I'm like, you know, you have to understand, unfortunately, white people are mentally ill. So the word nigger, you look it up, means ignorant. And actually they were talking to themselves. So you can't take it personal. They're ignorant. They don't know, you know, and they're regurgitating and repeating information that they may have been taught by their parents, who are clearly ignorant. So when you know who you are and you know where you come from and you know you were here first, when you hear someone call you a name like that, there's no need for you to come out and start fighting and whoop-de-woo. It's just when you start to study white people, just like they study you, you will quickly learn that they have a mental illness. You're not complete. You know what I'm saying? Is that you that told me when they came out, people, we cried when we saw them because they weren't brown like us. They weren't complete. So they look like they weren't done. Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have any melanin in them. So when you lack melanin, you lack balance. You don't have a soul. You only have a spirit. So if you don't have a soul and you only have a spirit, you're not a complete being. Therefore, you lack a lot of intellect and balance in your life. So
how do we circumvent that? So first off, let's stay on track with the Erica Kirk harvest. Mm-hmm. We're seeing how basically Hollywood is playing a role in this, because you see Greg Laurie harvest crusades. We know that the crusades are about killing the Moors and indigenous people. Mm. Harvest is how they used to kill and murder and eat us. So now we're talking about the crusades again. Every year when they have the harvest crusades, you're talking about a pale-skinned European man telling people to worship Jesus as their Lord and Savior, a white man. Every year. That is mind control, y'all. And they're using stadiums. They're using microphones. They're using TVs, television, to convince you as indigenous people, as Moors and Moors, who are the originators of civilization, to worship something outside of yourselves, and that the so-called pale-skinned European man is God. And so who would be the mother of Jesus if Jesus is a white man? The white woman. And that's when you know it's the final end of their matrix hologram. She's the last card of the deck. The queen. That's why they always still hint at Queen Elizabeth. Why they killed Princess Diane. Hillary Clinton not being elected. That was a timeline. Because Hillary Clinton was supposed to be president. And then they just did some Biff Back to the Future time travel stuff or something. And Donald Trump is now president of the United States, y'all. So you're looking at the last resurgence. It's all done to create these events like you're seeing happening in Minnesota right now with the ice. Let's go to that picture real quick.
We're living in the ice age.
Right. We are living in the ice age. We're living in the land of the dead. Most people are mentally dead. They believe what's happening on TV with Donald Trump. That's an actor. That is not real.
Hey, don't get me started on that.
So what happens is normal citizens start participating in these Hollywood games because you see it on TV. It's not happening in your real life. So it starts affecting you because of the television, the media, the news. And so it causes distractions, which is a disturbance to the natural frequency of you being tuned into the sun and getting code from your ancestors on how to escape outside of the matrix hologram. Hence why the trumpets are being blown, like everyone's saying, with Greenland is covered with ice. Iceland is very nice because the ice caps are melting, as we know. Land masses being shown. All of this in preparation for their Lord and Savior, which is what they're going to try to plan, of a white savior coming out of the sky using Project Bluebeam, using spacecrafts, just like Hitler and them already have bases in Antarctica, Greenland, Iceland, because this is an infinite matrix hologram. There's other land masses. So the last final frontier is, how does the so-called white woman feel about reality? And that's when it comes down to you. Because once again, if they could convince her to hate you as a Moor, that's how they can control the world, because they have to demonize you. That's why you see the ditties, all the fall of the hip hop, because they're going to resurrect the Karen. Because Empress El Anu was asking me the other night about pimping and macking and the difference. The difference is, back in the day, the troglodyte woman was your first Slavic, your slave, your first money, your currency, your first hooker. But imagine when you had a Moor with 100 white women who wanted to stay with him because she felt that the way that she was treated by the so-called white man was better with the Moor. This is why they hate you. This is why the so-called troglodyte of the white man truly hates you, is because the moment that the so-called white woman looks at you as God again, or as the son of God, and she can identify who what they call the devil or the recessive gene is, she will no longer want to procreate with her brother or her father, meaning that the white woman will no longer want to have sex with the white man. And that means that every other race outside of the black woman and indigenous woman shall follow, because naturally white woman and naturally every woman on the planet wants to sleep with you as a Moor or the son of God, or as a God superhero or alien. So they have to bring in the racist white woman. This is the final frontier, because we have to remember they worship the mother in secret. Mary Magdalene, the Catholic, they worship Mary. So go ahead, Empress. I know I'm rambling, but let me say this. The tour also aims to spread the word of God. Do you want to read it?
No, go ahead.
The tour aims to spread the word of God, the power of prayer, and calling for a Christian revival in the U.S. While speaking to the crowd, Kirk shared that she would not let her husband's death be a footnote in history. She would continue his pursuits. Before every press briefing, the Karen, Erica Kirk, says, "Lord Jesus, please give us the strength, the knowledge, the ability to articulate words. In Jesus' name, amen. And then to the right, they ask, will you watch the Turning Point USA's Revival Super Bowl halftime show? So what do you feel when they say revival of Christianity?
They're trying to bring it back. I think of when someone's about to die and they take those things and poof, and they bring it all back. Everything that was just, you know, dormant, you know what I mean? They're trying to bring it back, and that's crazy. So they sacrificed Charlie Kirk to bring the woman into, because that was a sign, like you said, that's a indication that the men are gonna it's reversing. So now the women are coming to the forefront.
Yes.
And she's out there. Yeah, this is crazy. Now that you're putting it all together, this is making sense. I get it now.
Donald Trump is their Lord and Savior in the flesh, and they need a white woman because that's their last stronghold. After Donald Trump as a man, who's next? There is no other.
They need a different face, something like softer that represent, and it has to be the same color. And,
yes,
you know, women, we bring nurturing and caring, and the world finally, the world needs that now because they've been dealing with this asshole who, AKA, is a clone. If y'all can't see, this shit is, I don't know, clear as day. He's got different clones. Like sometimes Donald Trump is talking, and I'm like, he looks bigger in this one. He might look more red in another interview. You know what I mean? So they're purposely making him the devil so people can hate him and finally say, I can't. My friend just told me that today. I can't wait until women come back into power again. I'm so looking forward to that. She just said that to me today. So you're right. It's that energy that's going out. This energy of I can't wait until something new comes about, because there's so much that they're putting everyone through. And really what it is you're seeing the fall of their world. So since you're seeing the fall of their world and it's painful, which is the purpose, they're trying to, they know what's happening, but they're recreating another script.
There you go. There you go.
You would think that we need something new, and that something new is a woman, same color, but now in power, and she's bringing a nurturing message, and that message is we're all gonna go to heaven. Hell no, I'm not going to that heaven y'all are going to. I'm good. I'll go the other direction. Where about 5 people are going, I'm gonna go that way. Everybody else want to follow the sheeple, feel free. I'm not going over there.
You just nailed it. It's what Empress L.I. News said at the start of the show, y'all. This is all a Hollywood script. So what is the true script that the netters and nature is broadcasting right now? Because clearly these are all major distractions, but I wanted to tap into a warning of a death coming, because someone's going to have to get knocked off. It's going to be either be Candace Owens, because the white girl warned her. The white girl warned her, quit talking about my husband. See, when you go to college, there's the black girls like Candace Owens who get trains ran on by the white boys, which you're going to learn in Hollywood. All your black celebrity females get ran through by the white boys. You cannot get on the script. You can't get in Hollywood unless you get down like that to a certain level. That's why Gilbert Arenas and all them, which we knew when they talked about Halle Berry getting ran through by the Weinstein.
Hey, she got ran through live on a movie. On a movie set.
And then the girl from Martin, all those women, the Vivica Foxes, all of them. Look at Chili. Venus Williams and all them. So I'm going to show you Candace Owens real quick, but Charlie Kirk's wife keeps warning her, quit talking about my husband. Now they're having talks. So it'll either be a death or they'll click up and both run together. Either way, this is all a script. Like we said, they're developing new timelines, which are mind games for people to follow. There's scripts for people to believe in, just like news outlets, all coming into one conglomerate, one thought, one God, one way of thinking, one way of seeing the world. So here we go when it comes to what we're witnessing at Harvest.
Which tells us that Greg Laurie, there's been a number of lawsuits filed against Harvest Christian Fellowship, the founder, Greg Laurie, and also the churches related to alleged abuse of young men at a children's home in Romania. Okay, there's 12 lawsuits actually. The original lawsuit was filed in September by 2 men claiming that Paul Havsgaard, he is a former pastor and a missionary at Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, California. So that's that area where they're all from. Colvette's from there, that area. He's from Santa Barbara, actually. McCoys are from there. And they're alleging that he abused them at a children's shelter in Bucharest, Romania. The allegations include children being tied to radiators, being made to kneel down on walnut shells, being touched inappropriately, and being pimped out for sex. Now, the number of litigants, as I said, has risen to 12, and the law firm that's representing the survivors said in a news release that they are expecting 23 former residents of the home to bring complaints. The most recent complaints were filed in November. The court documents claim that Greg Laurie and the Harvest Christian Fellowship sent funding to Havsgaard, which they obviously did send funding to him while he was there, and they were negligent in supervising him while he was there, despite reports of abuse. Here's an article which tells us that Greg Laurie, there's been a number of lawsuits filed against Harvest Christian Fellowship.
So right there. So Candace Owens just linked a group of these people in the Trump administration playing in the Charlie Kirk thing, all from Riverside County, all around it. She was linking Harvest Church to Romania. And to the right, coincidentally, what do we see? Erica Kirk was a model for Trump. And her father was connected to Epstein and the Disney cruise. Epstein links to the Romania scandal. So once again, Erica Kirk's 2012 music video, Creepy, with the 9/10, once again, the dates of the assassination. So once again, them creating timelines. So when you hear Candace Owens talk about time travel, once again, our past episodes, we talked about Donald Trump being Biff in Back to the Future Part 2 in time traveling and changing timelines. So at the end of the day, what they can do with Hollywood, AI, the media, religion, and miseducation is simply hypnotizing and mind controlling the population to believe a false narrative, just like the Jesus narrative, just like the white supremacist narrative. So this is all in order to create events to bring about their blood god. So now we see Minneapolis, Minneapolis border patrol shootings. It's murder in plain sight. So right now we're seeing a stage being set for what they want all throughout the country. The Olympics are coming. How's that going to work? But that's in California. So once again, Ice-T, gangster rap, Ice Spice, Ice Cube, Vanilla Ice, all artists, once again, putting your mind to sleep, even though we know Brother Ice Cube does great things. When you start learning about all the deaths of all the people from Friday and what went on with that, there sure were a lot of blood sacrifices and people who aren't there. There's no one alive to even do it. Interesting. So Nicki Minaj confirmed as a guest speaker for the Trump summit. And so go ahead.
If I dye my hair like that red, I can look like Ice Spice now.
Oh, you're so funny. Yeah.
So look, I looked it up. I trimmed my hair and he said I look like Ice Spice. Anyways, I found out, darn it, where did it go? The Hot Springs, Calvary Chapel. That's what it was. that was a Calvary Chapel College. It's now back. I think it used to be, you know, the hot springs in Marietta. It's now back to being a hot springs resort. But prior to that, it was a Calvary Chapel College. And you can go there and,
I read about that because it was shut down and they bought it back. They bought it so check this out, y'all. In Riverside County, which Palm Springs, Marilyn Monroe, JFK, that's Riverside too. They come to Palm Springs because of the water underneath the ground. They come to Riverside because people all throughout the world used to come and drink the water and it would heal them. So when the Europeans came here, when you go to Lake El Sonor or Temecula, these are all Moorish, ancient Comitian Egyptian names. If you go look at the buildings in Lake Elsinore, the downtowns, they're all Moorish buildings. That's because those were water springs. Those were all hot Moorish springs. And they'll always say that the European artists tried to revitalize Moorish architecture. No, those are old Moorish cities and old Moorish fountains of youth that were already there that were taken over by the church. Because you got to remember, they came in friendly. They came in with blankets filled with smallpox. They came in also with Moorish captives and Moorish Spanish conquistadors. And a lot of those Slavics stole our maps. So when you learn about the founding of a lot of our cities, let's talk about Southern California, it'll always involve the Mormons, hence Moor man, and the church. Hence why when you go around Southern California and in Mexico, wherever you see a big mountain and a cross on top, that's an old pyramid, y'all. That's a pyramid mound to mark that they murdered and slaughtered the Indians and Moors who were there. And in the name of Jesus, in the name of God, they have to keep their necks on us so we don't remember who we are. Hence why you see people of color still going to church, worshiping Jesus, still going to church, allowing a pale-skinned European to guide them as sheep into the slaughterhouse. And now preparation for these two, like Empress El-Anu said, the coming of the woman. Is it going to be the wicked, like the movie Wicked came out, the black wicked woman or the righteous woman? Or is it going to be the divine feminine? This is why we have Empress El-Anu with teaching us about the body. Parasites, not just parasites in the body, but parasites in Hollywood.
Parasites, Erica Kirk, Parasite. They bring all the parasites.
So go ahead. So you have the Candace Owens for the conscious black woman, right? Not the underground. So she kind of is borderline conscious and then borderline Hollywood, still Hollywood. And as you saw, she's connected to Hollywood, saying that her friend was fucking on Drake and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, once again, you see the connection that all this is a script for us to talk about. But what does it mean? It's all spiritual, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you see when we talk about white fragility right now? Critical race theory is a big thing. It's basically so-called pale-skinned Europeans' last fight of survival, because in Asia, they're hated. In the Middle East, they're hated. Everywhere, Mexico, Latin America, this seems like the last stronghold is America for the so-called rule or the mind state of the pale-skinned Europeans, rule over our minds. So is that where we're at? Because it has to be the final frontier. The trumpets are being blown. The ice is melting, which is the pineal gland. The so-called mother goddess, which is the mother or the wife of Charlie Kirk. You know, she's going to war with the black goddess, Candace Owens, you know, and here it is.
Yeah.
Symbolic. Go ahead.
It's all symbolic, but it should just be, this platform here is here to design to educate, and you can do what you want with it, but it doesn't mean we have to go to war with them physically. It just means we have to learn and remember who we are and then act into that. So not act, I shouldn't say that, move into your positions so that you get these Erica Kirks that can no longer be even in existence. So long we give them energy and put them on a platform and keep worshiping them and giving them all this credit, you're making it alive. But this is an opportunity and a time to learn. And this is to my melanated goddesses out there. This is a time for us to learn who we are and our lineage, and then start moving into that, because then you'll get the Erica Kirks, because they know who we are. You know, my daughter, I told her when I was younger, I worked at Nordstrom, and I used to have white people staring at me from far away. They were just like in awe because they know who I am. I didn't know who I was, but they knew who I was. And when they walk up to me, they'd ask me, what are you? You know what I mean? Or they want to touch your hair, like, ooh, is this a perm? No, this is my shit. You know what I'm saying? Wash and go. I can put my hair in different styles. I can braid it up. It can be curly like this. I can make it straight. They can't do that. And that's okay. That's just because, again, we have a soul and a spirit. We are melanated. We're melanated beings. We're considered the original blueprint. And so when you have an original blueprint and then you got the copy always wants to know where the original is at. And when they see the original, aren't you going to be like, oh my God, that's the original? And so they start touching it and want to ask you questions because they're intrigued by us. But they'll make you think you ain't shit when you are everything. Okay, you are everything, and everything is you.
You are everything, and everything is you. Oh, you are everything.
So yeah, this is definitely an opportunity for us as because this is our time. This is our time, okay? So don't let these Erica Kirks and all these crusades they got going on, don't let that get to you. Work on self, because that's what's important in building up our minds. Not just the mind here, but the mind, there's you got one in your stomach. Your whole body is a whole brain. So we have to work on building up self. So what you're showing, this Hollywood script no longer even matters. I don't even know what's going on because I'm so far into working on self and building up myself that my ancestors have me in a whole nother realm, a whole nother frequency. And then I start attaching to other people that are on my frequency. So I don't get afraid and be in fear of, because that's the whole point.
5, 4, 3, Welcome 2, to What is the 1. Matrix TV. It's a podcast built for the curious, for the ones who believe that this universe has more to say than we were told. We connect the past, the present, and the future, digging into aliens, pyramids,
Empress. Probably mad. I shouldn't have did that. Don't go. Empress, did you leave? I didn't mean to press it. Go.
So that's all. I don't know what I was saying. I forgot.
No,
go ahead.
No, you were speaking on the value of us remembering our value, not allowing them to control the script.
Mm-hmm.
My fault.
And we have to work on starving our egos too. Balancing everything out. So.
So less valuable, and that's my fault, messing up your flow.
I can't remember what I was going to say, but go ahead.
No, I was going to point out as we start closing it out soon, less valuable than a slave. on the bottom left screen, if you guys read, it says it's time to fight anti-white racism on college campuses. That's what Charlie Kirk was also talking about too. A lot of them. That's the theme right now, as we say, white fragility, anti-white racism, is because they know that if they don't do what they're doing with ICE, if they don't let up off of the indigenous people, and enough of us, and now you see them. I was watching a clip on Instagram where it was a Caucasian, pale skin European. He was saying how they're clones. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I did.
You know, so they're exposing themselves, and a lot, I wouldn't say a lot of them, but there are some of them that understand that in order for them to move forward, or for them to catch a soul or gain a soul, they're going to have to allow the indigenous people to have their land and practice our culture. But as we start closing it out, I wanted to remind people of what happens and goes on also on the college campuses of racism that so-called Black students experience. But right now, when they say it's a time to fight anti-white racism on college campuses, these are your attorneys, these are your future doctors, teachers, the people who are running your society. Meanwhile, in the so-called Black community, there's a push for people to not love education. You see why the reality TV shows, hip hop, TMZ, sports, all that is being pushed in really to distract us from really what's going on in white America, is the resurgence. This is their last resurgence of the Harvest Crusades, the anti-racism. And just like in the movie Higher Learning and all the other movies, what do? They kill us. They go around creating chaos. So this is what we need to do, is start preparing, start ascending, start having these real conversations of what's going to happen. Because I hear people bragging, well, ICE isn't going against Black folks. These are unmasked white folks pretty much allowed to terrorize and kill people. Let's call it for what it is. It should be a state of emergency for the whole world at this point. It shouldn't matter if it isn't happening to a Black person or anyone. The fact that we have mass men in this country running around killing people should be alarming. But as we flip to the next script, how the Irish became white, how the Italians became white. So once again, you have to question the term white as we close it out with race is a social construct.
Right.
And then you saw the Black Panther guy, or the new Black Panther guy, talking about blowing holes in people. And it takes away from the essence of what the true original Black Panther Party originated and created, which was the free food program. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know?
Women, infants, and children.
And so bearing arms, and that'll be another episode, is what was the Black Panther Party, a CIA operation that was started on the college campuses, or was it a great organization that was also infiltrated? But once again, weaponizing whiteness, white fragility, them giving an excuse to murder, when it should be alarming when you see white women go around saying, let's fill up heaven. Are you going to kill people? Is there a mass, suicide? Because if people are reaching heaven, that's death. So think of that tour. And if she's going on a tour, that is a revival. That's basically a campaign of whiteness, promoting that Jesus Christ, the white man, is God. So Christian nationalism is alarming. Are you talking to me? You're on mute.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know how I got on mute, but I just thought about something right now, because I'm considered a light skin, right? And then you have our dark skinned sisters, right? When I was growing up, it was the light skins against the dark skins. So I'm saying that it just came to me right now. Don't fall for that bullshit, because that's what they're going to try and do. I feel like a reset took place. Like they took us back some time. You know what I mean? I can feel it. So you notice everything's the 90s. It's not an accident that now everybody is more into the 90s, because they do that. So back in the 90s, what was it? I remember going to school, it was the light skins against the dark skins. So if you've got a rise in the white woman right now, and they can play it where us sisters are going against each other, that's also going to be another
theme.
So I
said, Black woman, that's the theme.
Yeah,
go ahead and think of that.
That's why I say learn who you are. It doesn't matter how light or dark you are. Your melanin is actually in. It's your soul. Okay, so it's not about who's lighter and who's darker. It's about we need to stick together. And so because we're rising right now. This is our time, and they're trying to steal it. So stay focused and build up self. Build up your mind. Watch what you eat. Watch who you hang around. Watch your environment. This is not a game. We are really at war, and we are princess goddesses. We are royalty, period. And they know it, and they want to take it from us. So let's stay focused. That's my rant.
And what do you feel about the movie Higher Learning? Do you remember that movie?
I don't remember. I watched it, but I don't remember. We had a lot of movies like that too growing up. Like the Higher Learning. We had a lot of movies like that. But based off what I'm seeing, it says why schools need more teachers of color for white students, so that we can now teach them our history and our culture, because we're tired of learning about theirs. You ain't the original. Well, I want to learn about you. You trying to learn about me. I'm telling you all about myself so you can regurgitate it, create colleges, institutions, so you can reteach me about what I taught you.
There you go. You just nailed it, sister. You just nailed it. We integrated schools because they lack enough melanin to process the sun and nature's songs properly, codes properly, are fast enough as you. So it was a trick to integrate the schools because they took our brightest minds. Hence why we have sororities and fraternities at the beginning of the episode. It's because our brightest minds were taken into their corporations, which were still controlled by their fraternities and their sororities, putting us once again under the spell. So yes.
You said something about they admit that they were cloned.
Yes.
Okay.
I have it on. Go ahead. I could look for it.
You could definitely play it while you're looking for it. So if white people admit that they were cloned, that means that so-called Black people come from the original creator, which means that you are complete. There is no you are the universe. So if they know they're not. So that's why they spend all their time playing illusion, playing games. I wanted to say something else, and it totally put my
go ahead.
It left my mind, but go ahead if you want to find that and play it, because that was.
I'll play one of them. This isn't the video I was talking about, but here's another Caucasian, I'll say brother, because I always remember you're my brother, you're my family.
Right.
If you're about love, righteousness, I don't care if you have 2 heads, 3 heads, or snarling teeth. It's about love, because a person can look like me and be full of hate. We have to, at the end of the day, when people tell me color doesn't matter, we'll run through a red light, eat a food that's rotted and you see pus all in it. So color does matter. But here we go to where them revealing that there's clones amongst us, because they have to once again reveal who they are for us to take them further as well. But let's hear what this brother has to say, because I don't remember fully.
The world has been repopulated by clones. Watch. Orphan trains went on for at least 75 years. After the reset wars of the Revolution, the War of 1812, and the Civil War, there was a repopulation effort conducted to repopulate the empty cities of America. Orphans were shipped across the country for child labor. Orphan asylums were established to indoctrinate the children. These are clones teaching clones. Each generation of clone knowing less and less as the generations proceeded. They didn't build these asylums, they were already there and were repurposed. That's why they look like castles. Adults that didn't go along with the reset were forced into insane asylums. If they were violent, they were forced into prisons, which were once castles. Soldiers that knew the truth about the Civil War were forced into soldiers' homes if they didn't comply. Notice the so-called Moorish architecture? This was done all over the world. Many last names are orphan last names. This was a worldwide campaign for hundreds of years. Black orphans were the offspring of the Aboriginals. Clones are technically fatherless. They come from Lilith, the mother of all demons. This is Adam's first wife. Lilith was parthenogenic, which means she could produce without a man. This typically only produces females, but when they do produce males, they are feminized males, essentially females with penises. This is why the Virgin Mary is so revered. These clones are Slavs. That is why Ukraine produces the most sperm donations and the most surrogacy. Look, Slavs or slaves have always been used as mercenaries and pawns for war. These are genetic slaves, not prisoners of war. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, etc. These are slave uprisings. After the French Revolution slave uprising, most of the world's art was hidden in France. This allowed them to whitewash the history. Rome is Edom, and Edom was brown. Ruddy means brownish red, like a ruddy cow. Many people's ancestors are clones or incubator babies. The Slavic Lilith clones were preserved through each reset to repopulate and also whitewash the people after whitewashing the art. These are programs, not souls. They are not a bloodline. They are a clan. World's fairs were events used to establish social hierarchies and rules for the clones. They mixed in temporary structures to discredit the permanent structures from the previous civilization. These state capitals are structures from a previous civilization that were repurposed. The construction photos are fake. Photoshop has been around for hundreds of years now. Lilith's spawn are RH negatives, not RH positives. They are demons or daemons. The Seal of Solomon is a portal for demons. Demon populations only grow when the environment is toxic, a dark age like now. Demons or daemons or fallen angels only have knee-jerk responses, like a male or daemon. They are pure anima, like how a shadow follows light. To believe mainstream history is to be artificially intelligent, like these organic AI clones. The world has been repopulated.
So right there.
Wow. That was informative.
It was interesting.
So before I forget, if y'all have an hour to spare, I would suggest going on to YouTube and looking up this video by Dr. Layla Africa. It's called White Racism and Mental Illness. He breaks it down. Much love and respect and rest in power to Dr. Layla Africa. That's one person that I follow. I got his book here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can see it or not. Wait.
My bad.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it or not. But I got this book.
Self-diagnosis.
And there's also another book on melanin, so you can learn about yourself, your melanin that you have in you. So once you start to open up these books and read them and listen to, other leaders out there that have put the work in, everything we're saying will start to tie in and make more sense. And then you won't be so intrigued by white people. You're not white. If you're not white, if you are white, you're white. It is what it is. But I'm talking to our sisters, especially the ones that are following after white people and looking up to them like they are God. No, sadly mistaken.
And that's what,
like God.
Yeah, they learn that when you're in college, they're doing the sorority thing because a lot of them have time. They come from more financial, I wouldn't say success, but yeah, to where they have an opportunity to indulge in so many different things while they're going to college, where most of us are either playing sports or other so-called Black students have to work more than the other students. Not to say that other races don't, but the experience, there's only higher learning as a movie to show the true Black experience. Like my experience, track star, got arrested my junior year, went to jail. You know, so how many other stories does that happen to Black athletes and Black kids to where they're going to college and they get locked up, you know?
Yeah.
So this is preparation. When you're in college, like for me, the word nigger, that got thrown around in class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Black people at these colleges, so you're going to deal with racist professors. So, you know, it's time to separate, because at the end of the day, Empress Elu just pointed it out again, is that we're giving away our intellectual property by just sending our future, our kids, to their schools. They don't send their kids to our schools for the most part. You know, they don't do that. Why is that? It's because you don't have any infrastructure right now, because like Empress Elu pointed out, our people as a collective are so busy trying to obtain things that you think white people are trying to do, because they don't let you in their house, or you're really not around wealthy, rich, so-called white people. As if you were let inside their house or let inside of your world, you'll see that their house has African memorabilia, ancient Egyptian stuff.
You know it. I just experienced that. Dead ass. I just experienced that about 2 weeks ago. I had the honor of going inside of a white man's house with blue eyes. The reason why he stopped me, y'all, is because I had my hair braided and I had beads on it. And next thing you know, in their world, I'm a sister. And I'm like, wow. Because I have braids in my hair with beads on it. Now you think you can come at me a specific type of way. And he's talking to me, you know, he's got the whole gyrations and everything. And I'm just watching him. And then he says, he kept saying something to me about Black people. And I was like, I feel you, homie, but I'm not Black. He was like, and I was like, yeah. And I noticed he had a shirt on. And the shirt that he had on was a shirt they sell in Nordstrom. And I worked at Nordstrom for like 16 years. I know my styles. I know my, you know, designers. And I said, oh, you have a Psycho Bunny shirt on. He jumped back like, how did you know that? Like, I'm not supposed to know, you know, expensive shit. So I was just like, you know, I started speaking to him like I'm talking now. And he saw that I wasn't ignorant. So then he changed the way he started talking to me. And the next thing you know, you could come in my house. So I met his wife, and you know, very nice people. You know, it was great, but it's just funny to me because I know who I am. So when I see other people who think that I don't know who I am, I just listen to how they talk to me, and then you think, you know, you don't have to be rude and check them, but there's ways you can speak to folks so that they know you know who you are. And no, I'm not Black. That's not even a color. What is that? Black is not even a color. It's a what is it called?
Adjective.
No, it's not an adjective. Construct. My mom's an artist, and I asked her that. You know, I said, "Is Black a color?"
Adjective is action. Noun.
Is it abstract? Anyways, it's the foundation of where everything comes from. It comes from the color Black, and then the light shows from the, you know, all colors come from quote unquote Black. So yeah. Ooh.
I'm listening. I'm typing in what you said.
Okay, I think I had it on mute again. But yeah.
Black. Yeah. Black can be a verb, make or become Black, and then Black too, noun, popular child actress of 1930s. Adjective, used in conduct, character, deserving, bringing disgrace or shame. They're talking about Black, what it means. And noun is the quality or the state of. So yeah, as far as you being Black, that's why they say I'm German or I'm Russian, because it has a nationality. When you refer to yourself as Black, it can
void. This is what you refer to yourself. When you say you're Black, you might as well just say this: I ain't shit. It's just, you are, but you're everything. So, you know, we have to learn even how to change the way we speak, because they know. They gave us that word and we just regurgitate it. So flip it. Learn who you are and flip it on them. So when you have conversations, they be like, oh, okay, they're waking up. They know who they are. That means we got to fall in line. and do just like these little devils have to do, which is they have to worship and bow down to you because you're the light. And sometimes the light's too bright and they can't, you know what I mean? They gotta, and that's what you want them to do.
And I wanted to say this too. Can you read this before we start ending it real quick?
What do you want me to read? The Satisfied with Trump's Job performance or Women for Trump?
It's this right here.
Oh, okay. What is critical whiteness studies?
Yes.
Okay. Well, critical whiteness studies leans heavily on critical race theory, which maintains that race is a social construct. As stated in the Washington Post, scholars in this largely interdisciplinary field believe the concept of race was created by a rich white European and American elite and has been used to deny property, power, and status to non-white groups. Aspects. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm not sure if they could read all that one. But aspects.
Aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. White dominant culture or whiteness blackness refers to the ways white people and their tradition, attitudes, the ways of life have been normalized over time and are now considered standard practices in the United States. And since white people still hold most of the institutions' power in America, we have all, I can't really say that word.
And since white people still hold most of the institutional power in America, we have all internalized some aspects of white culture, including people of color. Wow. And that's true. You know, we accept racism. We've accepted that this superhero named Jesus that no one's ever met but uses, that's like the only thing, you know. And then other countries they say Allah, and then other countries they say this. It really is a superhero fantasy of a white God. And even though now people say Yahweh and Jesus is black, we weren't raised on that. Cut it out. It's a mind control weapon. That's white culture. They use Jesus because, think about it, if in the minds of the majority of so-called black people or indigenous people, if Jesus is God, and for the most part people think he's a white man, that means that white people are the children of God. And so subconsciously it allows them to brutalize you. It allows you to think by sending your kids to a white institution that it's better to press your hair, to become a Christian, to worship Jesus. And so what happens is that racist white people, your sororities, your fraternity people, they know witchcraft. They know who you are. So an intelligent devil will ask you, do you believe it on a job interview? Well, let's say there's two of us. They'll ask you, so do you believe in God, in Jesus? Yes, I believe in Jesus. Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, and then versus another one, Jason, do you believe in God and Jesus? No. You know, meaning that they only are going to hire black Christians because they know that they're the brainwashed ones. That's why the black Christians are the wealthiest material-wise in our so-called world and community, because it's the fictitious so-called troglodyte or pale-skinned European Caucasian white culture's slave. They can't allow a conscious brother to be principal or a conscious sister to run their schools and their businesses. They have to have a black person who worships Jesus, and they're gonna give you money to keep those who are intelligent enough, are born awake, who know that it's all bullshit, and to teach the others how to escape the mental slave quarters, and that there's a whole nother world outside of the slave quarters. Yep. The black Christians are the house niggas. And they're all of them. Even a brother who works at Jack in the Box, you know what I'm saying, can be the toughest gang banger. Can be, and they all like to say that they're not, but if you're still worshiping Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're still hypnotized under mind control. This is how they rule over us as a people, and they do it through the black woman, the Candace Owens, who's secretly fucking on Charlie Kirk. Because they're come on, why do you think that's going to be probably one of the things with the wife? Because you were saying that she didn't love the husband. She's always with the black girl, and he was fruity too. So I know how that works. I've been around that situation. So you got the black girl who's sleeping with the white dude, the white frat dude. She's messing around to get in higher positions than the other black people. Hence why she's in a so-called more white culture, but she's black, so she's not in black media per se. So she's viewed on a higher level just for being connected to a white man. Hence why all over the media you see them portraying black women with white men. Because the new timeline is being scripted right now, which is death. Death of the so-called Moorish family. Death of the Indigenous family. Death of the family, period, for all humans. Hence why they have fast food restaurants. Hence why instead of a woman worshiping her son as God, she worships a man who she'll never meet as God. So that's why there's no real relationships in our community, because the man's not looking at the woman as goddess, and the woman's not looking at the man as God. We're looking outside of ourselves, which is a script given by white culture, which is death. That makes us brain dead, which allows them to put in a false media Hollywood program, hypnotize you, and now you're on robot. You're Vicky the robot. You're on robot, and then if you have a baby and replicate yourself, you teach it to your kid. Hence why Harvest Church is filled right now with kids. They have K through 12. All these schools around the country, in particularly Riverside, are all these religious schools. Why? It's because they have to keep the population to believe in God, to believe in Jesus. Because once enough people question it and have an escape, because right now most people, but now we have YouTube and all these things. But before this, when you would escape the church, there was no place of comfort to where people could type in and hear people like us talk. So for those watching, you have it, you can escape the slave quarters. And so that's what we're developing right now. That's why we need our land. That's the biggest restorations and reparations in the world, is us formulating to get the land or to get up out of here, which means that we have to be vibrating on some type of higher frequency. That's why they're distracting us. That's it. It's a frequency and a thought that they know the moment you start thinking, because what a man or woman think is she or he is.
So is he. Yes.
Because they know that they lack. They lie to you and say that they're superior to you. They got to do all this effed up stuff to manipulate and give themselves false confidence that they're greater than you, to distract you for a certain time, because they give us fake time. So what is the real time? And what's the event? The event has to be extraterrestrials returning, or the ice melting to where, like they talk about the ice wall, your pineal gland, meaning other civilizations coming in contact. In the end of the white man's world that Machiavelli, Tupac Amaru, Shakur was talking about.
Yeah.
The end of the white man's world isn't the sun exploding in the end of the world. It's the end of his program. And so he has to attempt to trap as many people in that false reality as possible. Hence, if you die believing that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, nigga, you're not graduating from the original university. You think by getting money, going to church, and getting all these material things is graduating. That's not it. It's what the ancestors basically clearly left us, which is an education system. a curriculum, a guide, like Empress Elu says.
Yourself, basically yourself.
There you go. The body.
That's
the
what
car.
I was trying to say. We come from the Most High, so therefore we are a replica of the Most High, and they know that. So if you are in an incubator and yet we come from the Most High, of course I'm gonna be mad because I want what you got. I want to be like you. But if I lie to you, keep lying to you, keep making you think you ain't the shit, thinking you think that you came from us and we're superior, as long as that's how you keep your vibration low. That's how they keep you beneath them. That's called the vibration. We have to come out of that mindset. Yes, come out of that mindset, raise yourself above and start studying yourself. And it takes a lifetime, y'all, to study the body. So if you coming out here with books overnight talking about, I know about the body, you're lying. This shit takes time, okay? And the ancestors got to show you stuff because most of you don't know how to go within. You too busy lying to yourself and lying to everybody else talking about, oh, yes, I'm spiritual now in the name of Jesus. Got to balance it out. It doesn't go hand in hand, and the ancestors aren't fucking with you if you're still.
When was your wake up call?
When
you were going to harvest, what was your, as we start closing it out, what was your experience at that time, and what were you seeking compared to now? Because we always want to show love to people in the process. There might be a person for the first time watching this who wants to escape the church but doesn't know how or have an escape plan, because once you escape you still want a home, but let them know the loneliness, all that, what's going to come with it. But where were you at? Because we see harvest, and I say harvesting energy.
Well, I mean, that's not the only church that I attended, but how can I explain it? I've always had an awareness, like ever since I was a little kid. I've always looked up at the sky. I've always traveled, you know what I'm saying? When I was 16 years old, I mean, I've always been psychic. I've always been able to astral travel, you know, so it's not, I always knew I was different, right? But because I was raised in the church, I thought I had to do with Jesus. I thought I had these gifts because of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But I would always talk to my quote unquote self, okay, which really I was talking to my ancestors the whole time, asking for guidance. So I used to say things like, whatever information I get that's not supposed to be in me, release it, and whatever information is supposed to stay, let it stick, right? I would pray all the time. I was a hardcore Christian, y'all. Jesus was my husband, all right? It got to a point where that's the road that I was on. So I didn't have like my profound awakening until maybe 4 years ago. It's like I said, I've always had like experiences. Like growing up, I used to see what they call ghosts or spirits. I saw that a lot. So I've always been different like that. But when you have the church tied together, it causes that confusion. But my ancestors always had their hands on me. And I'm thankful for the experience. You know what I mean? I'm thankful that I had to go through this to see the bullshit. Because I always felt it was foolish. You know, it was bullshit. Going as a kid, I was forced to go to church every single Sunday. Every Friday, I'm at, youth night. Every Sunday we're at church. Every Wednesday it's Bible study. So it was forced on me. Even though my soul didn't agree with it, it was forced on me. So maybe in my 30s, I remember telling my stepdad, I told him, I said, I love God and I believe in God, but I don't think the Bible is true. And, he was disappointed, but I said, I just don't believe it's true. So it was a process for me, if that makes sense. It wasn't like I just had this awakening and I'm like, oh, I've always been on that path, but I've had the church distracting me from being able to be fully awoke and walk into my full, self. So I say about 4 years ago, that's when I, Rashad Jamal, matter of fact, ran across my Facebook, and it was like this dude popped up talking about rainbows and how rainbows are stargates, and it was just the most craziest thing, right? But it was my kind of crazy talk, and I never heard anybody talk like this. So I pressed the play button and I was like, yo, this dude is talking like this is the shit that I've been seeing as a kid. Like ever since I've been a kid, I've had these really crazy experiences. So that's what made me click on his shit, and I'm listening to it, and that's where my world started opening up. And that's when I had the experience where Anubis came from the ground up, but I was, I have my candles. I was operating with my elements. You know what I'm saying? I was learning the mudras, the different, what they call our gang signs. I was learning my language. And because I did that, my ancestor came to visit me and talk to me. It wasn't like he was moving his mouth. He just came from the ground up. And I felt the energy. I felt everything. My grandma was in there. My daughter's grandma was in that room at the time. So that was my experience. And then ever since then, I told you my DNA was completely reconstructed. I didn't want to eat meat. I had no desire to eat meat. Until this day, I will not touch anything that has to do with the cow. And you know that as a witness. I'll fast before I eat any meat, okay? I've gone days without eating meat. But that's because I had a dad. My stepdad was a hardcore Christian. We used to fast at 8 years old. I was fasting for days at 8 years old. He used to have me write stuff down in my Bible and say, okay, manifest this. If you write it down, and I learned discipline. I had some really great experiences as far as learning to be disciplined when it came to the religion. And I'm able to apply that now in my life. So I'm disciplined when it comes to not eating certain foods. I'm disciplined when it comes to going to the gym. But that's what it's going to take in order for us to come out of this mindset, this delusional mindset of thinking we're supposed to come outside of ourselves and worship something that's not even the same color as me. It's not that we don't have the same hair type. So how can you be my father when you don't even have, you've got straight hair?
Well, it says Jesus said to the right, it seems like that's a harvest thing or even Christian thing. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Mm-hmm. And so that's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
That's the type of society we're living in. That's maniac thinking, to where we have a society where people believe that the only way to a higher level of consciousness and an escape from basically this racist society is to follow the scripture and the character that the group of people who murdered you in the first place forced your ancestors to believe in. So it's a major cult. United States of America is a cult.
Yeah.
And so what they've done is they allowed their descendants, basically people who look like Jesus and his followers, which are, who, going around the planet, killing and murdering in the name of Jesus. And that's so where we're at today.
That's what I went through. I got basically, when I denounced it and was like, I'm not fucking with this shit, fuck Jesus. And I got kicked out the house twice, got called and told that I was I was in a culture. So yeah, I am a cult, I guess. But I'm in a cult, and I'm like, no, you're in a fucking cult.
Right.
You stop and look at it. You're in a fucking cult. You're in church, opening up this Bible, reading some shit you don't understand. Okay, I tried reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelations when I was younger. I tried to read the Bible. In fact, Greg Laurie had this CD. I think it was a CD, and I remember purchasing it. And matter of fact, I ordered it. It was for free. So I ordered it. It came to my house, and it gave it was like from Genesis all the way to Revelations. You can play it driving, wherever you're going. And I used to listen to it every day, just to try to gain an understanding of the Bible. And I could never get it, but I couldn't get past certain chapters because it was like, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and let them, can't think of it now because
let us make man in our image after our likeness.
So let them But yet you were taught there's only one God. And that's right there is deflecting. But if you bring that up to a Christian, they don't want to talk about it. No. Why not? Let's talk about it. Why is there more than one God in the beginning of your Bible? Is that the beginning? Who knows? Because my first question was, who's King James and why are we reading his version? It's another question nobody can answer. But it's common sense if you think about it. Why would you read somebody else's version and then make that as stone? Like that's what you're supposed to go by.
And you weren't there. And let alone the people who wrote the book of Jesus and all that, there weren't people right there. So you're talking about hundreds of years after a person you supposedly lived and now you're worshiping them. Mm-hmm. That's insanity.
And mental illness, yo. And think about how many people are in. They're like you said, they're
bro. For me, and I always say the ADHD kids, we were already born awake, you know, alive, or thinking, while the rest of the kids and population, they follow. And so now I see it into so-called adulthood, how pretty much the same kids, which is the whole city, they're all hypnotized. There's only a few of us who were kids who they tried to put on Ritalin and all this shit and would tell the other kids other stuff. And that was the problem. Jason's distracting the kids. He's finished with school. He's finished with this, and he's saying this. Oh no, we can't have him teach the other kids. Put them outside. Put them in. Yeah. That's it, because the kids with ADHD were born already knowing, while the other kids, they're clearly manipulated into adulthood. That's why you still see adults. How are you? For me, it's just like, I've witnessed everyone go through tragedy, no matter what color. They've been through something. So at a certain age, you've had your question to where you have been presented the option to say, okay, this is bullshit. Let me figure it out. But instead, other people, it's easy to believe in Jesus. It's easy to worship God. It's easy to follow the herd. That's easy. It's easy to read the Bible and say, oh, this is this. You'll spend a lifetime. That's why they wrote the Bible, for you to spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. You're trapped in a maze. It's a labyrinth. It's a fucking computer game to distract you from the real treasures. Hence why they got you in their schools in Indiana Jones, and then they're hunting for treasures of antiquity. Yep. That's what they're doing, just like in Ready Player One. Everyone's going this way. You got to turn around and go back like Marty McFly. You got to travel back to the past. Uh-huh. That's the future. Hence why all the cartoons back in the day and Twilight Zone and those shows, the future was advanced. So they have to trick you with time, dates, months, and fictitious history that you do not know ever really existed. You only know
Does it matter?
If it's fact, it matters.
Yeah.
But it doesn't if you've been telling us lies. And what happens is you create a reality based off of what you've been told, because since a kid, you're susceptible and you're innocent. Hence why I could say Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Mickey Mouse pops up in your head. Mm-hmm. But Mickey Mouse isn't real. But he's real in the Matrix now. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Jesus, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny.
Yes.
But if you weren't born inside this in particular double matrix, you wouldn't believe that. And that's one thing that solidified me when I was with the Zulus in Africa, to where it's like we're in our own other reality, because the pale-skinned European, much love, once again, genetically, biologically, our relationship with Ra, which we call the sun, is different with theirs. So if they can convince us to worship their God, their culture, which is a cult, because a cult is a culture, which can be good or bad. But if you worship their culture and you don't understand melanin, you'll understand that their culture is death by nature, not by ego, not by us being racist. That's because that's what they're trying to say. Oh, we're being mistreated. You're getting mistreated by the sun. Don't blame me. And so by nature, they're inferior, but they have to use violence, manipulation, religion,
chemicals,
everything, right? False to bring about a confirmation of people to believe in their fictitious reality. And then there's those of us, no matter what color you are, we're going to escape. And that's the whole point, is that they have to drag us into their reality. And I always say, for the return. Some people say there's no such thing as aliens and spaceships. I get it. But the final frontier is that they're going to reveal that we are not alone in the universe. And so if people are experiencing what's going on in Minnesota in their cities, they make an earthquake, they change the weather, and all of a sudden you see spacecrafts in a white Jesus in the sky. Well, then now you can be manipulated to think that Jesus Christ is returning. And so this is what all the holograms and the drone technology, the robots, the AI is done to replace you, even though we can use it as a tool. So the AI or the robots can be a reciprocal relationship, because clearly when they show you Transformers, Star Trek, Star Wars, we already built robots. So that's a real thing in the universe. So clearly they're trying to bring about their version of how they want the robots to be. Hence why in Transformers they have the Decepticons and then the good ones. Same thing with Voltron. So that's another episode. But I'll say this to their religion: is AI and the robots going to be God for them? Like what is next? Because their God of what they've been saying can only come forth through violence. Jesus worship, Yahweh worship, that's through you having to kill and murder people.
Jealous God. And you have to sacrifice things to get what you need.
There you go.
Blood sacrifice. Why blood? Because blood carries what? Information in life. And they need information. They need our information so they can try to figure out how we do what we do and how we are what we are. And yeah, this is wild. I remember too, when you asked me about my awakening moment, when did I really fully wake up? I remember when all this stuff was happening. I moved to Arizona and I kept hearing my ancestors tell me, literally to the point where it's like, when you go into the store, turn around and go in backwards. So I used to go to the store backwards. If it said enter, I was exiting. If it said exit, I entered it. You know what I mean? I was purposely doing things backwards because they were letting me know you gotta literally do things different. You can't follow the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I have a video of my daughter reading the book of Genesis, and I'm like, yo, I'm planting seeds and watering them. And as time goes on, that's why it's important to homeschool your children, because when we take them to these these public schools or private schools, and they're not teaching our children about our culture, then they're not going to know who they are. So I get an opportunity to plant seeds, you know what I'm saying, in my daughter's head. And the other day she came to me and was like, Mom, it wasn't just about Erica Kirk, but she put time together when she said, Mom, because my daughter-in-law's in the Army and, they have military time. So she says, on the military, they have military time and they have their own base and they have their own stores and this, that, and the third. And I said, yeah. And I said, now, when you go to different states, they have different states of mind. You go to a different state, it's a different state of mind. When you go to different states, they have different times. They have Pacific Standard Time, Eastern Time. Why? We're all here on the same realm. Why is everything so different? Why are they confusing the pot up? They stir the pot up and give you confusion. So now you thinking everybody's on different, but you're on different realms.
Keep going with that. State of mind. I didn't think of that because each state is different.
Yeah.
State of mind, of course, the weather and all that. But
you go to Vegas. When you go to Vegas, you know what I'm saying? You're mingling different state of mind. You go to, I went to Arizona and, you know, I talked to people and they were like, where are you from? I'm from California. They'd be like, oh, you're so lucky. They have a different state of mind. Why do you feel like that? Why do you feel I'm lucky from being from California and you're born in Arizona? Why did you say that? You know what I'm saying? You go to Texas, different state of mind. New York, different state of mind. They think different. They're fast paced. Why? Why is the energy different in all these different states? Did they do it on purpose?
Definitely switched it up because you got to remember the planet was and still is an infinite learning center, a university. So when we would travel as Moors, we traveled to different lands and they would have a different education system, still based off of nature and the body, but different schools, just like when you go to different universities and different experiences. So like Las Vegas, that used to be the sea, that used to be water over there. So clearly there's pyramids there. Vegas, the city of lights, the serpent city. So what would they do in Vegas? The Italian mob. Who are the Italians? They're half Moor, half troglodyte, right? So that meant that the Italian mob still would have knowledge of the Moorish Empire and knew where to go and to use that energy. They had to use the blood god, you know, sacrificing bodies to drop to get that energy flowing. And then here we are with Vegas. And because if you look at Vegas, it was magic.
Yeah.
You have the stripper shows, the hookers, the drugs, the murder, and then outside of that, it's the entertainment, the magic, the acrobats,
the lights.
Right. So that meant that back in the day, that's what we did. So if they do that now, imagine our acrobats. Imagine our Circus Soleil and Chris Angels. That meant that when Chris Angel and Larry Houdini and all those dudes, they were mimicking Moors and Moors who were actually performing that, shooting balls out of your hand, flying in the air, doing, because you can see the reminiscence of it now.
Doing the things that you do when you go to sleep, you travel. You go. I remember. Look, there's been so many dreams I've had where I've gone to the moon. That shit was so real, because it is real. When you sleep, you're really in a different. You're in a different zone, a different realm. It exists because your body has to shut down and repair itself, right? But that doesn't mean that your soul still isn't traveling. Your soul doesn't. You don't sleep. You don't sleep. You don't die, nigga. You stay alive forever. Forever. But they'll make you think that you got your checkout point, the checkout time. Don't go to the light.
Cool. And there you go. Keep going, because that's what they do with the religion in Jesus. They trap you to make you think that that's it. This heaven. It's just God and Jesus in heaven.
This is hell. That you die and go to heaven. Why?
That's where they come from, babe. That's where they're from. They're from the lower realm. So they have to trap as many souls, spirits as possible so the world continues to exist. Because once it crumbles, who would want to deal with them ever again? Think about it. After Donald Trump falls, and after Erica Kirk falls, after Christianity falls in their version, who will want to ever trust the pale-skinned Europeans again? No one. And that's freedom. But what's happened is that the whole world has been corrupted by them. So it doesn't, that's where we're at, where you have to learn to read people's aura, not judge a person based off of their color now. or shouldn't ever, but as you see, it's because everyone's pretty much been corrupted. The food we eat, it corrupts the system. So it's so imperative for us to continue to communicate these messages to each other, continue to uplift each other, continue to question God, question reality, question Jesus. That's why in church they told you don't question God, don't question Jesus. Why? Can you question the teacher? Imagine if your daughter came from class and she said, Mom, the teacher doesn't let me ask any questions.
Huh? Why? Yeah.
And you cannot use the Bible as a source on a scholarly paper. When you go to Barnes and Nobles, it's not in the real factual section. So once again, you are following a script. Scripture, a written out script that someone said they were inspired by God, which is a word. So it's called word spells. Therefore, our people, the majority of the planet, is literally under a mind control spell.
You're reading a book of spells, yet when someone like me denounces the Bible, you call me the devil. Just so you know, you're going to be held accountable for that. Just want you to know, my ancestors don't play, especially when those are out here, and they're really activating and living their purpose. The ancestors are going to protect those. So be mindful what you say about certain people, especially behind their back or in their faces, because when we're out here and we're uncovering the truth, as they say, and it'll set you free for real. The devils don't like that shit. Oh, well. Truth is going to set you free, and anything that goes in the dark is going to come to the light. And right now, the light is coming into fruition. So, yeah, it's bound to happen. And a lot of people, I remember this is too, because you asked me a question about my experience, about my awakening. I remember crying a lot and being mad, because it's like being in a relationship and you just say you're being honest with this person and you find out they've been cheating and lying and doing and creating whole families. When you find that truth out, you're going to be hurt, right? So it's the same situation when you find out you've been lied to and misled all these years, when you could have been living your life and living your purpose, because that's what we're here for. We all have a purpose. When we got here, we signed a contract coming here, and our contract might be to live a specific purpose based off what the ancestors called us to do. And if we don't live that purpose, what are you here for? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got upset and I was mad for like a whole year, because it's like, damn, all this time I've been working my butt off. Christmas comes around, I'm celebrating these holidays. I was a single mom, so I'm the one paying for all this stuff, and then I'm giving it to a white man named Santa Claus. And I got told I was a mean mom because I didn't want to participate in the bullshit anymore. So you're gonna get people that are gonna pass judgment. Who cares? They're under a spell too. You got to stand strong, stay on your feet. You know what I mean? And your ancestors will guide you. I promise you. And it's going to be a beautiful experience, yet it's going to be also detrimental in a sense, because all the people that you thought had your back, that you thought you had friends, you're going to find out they never were your friends. Family members actually going against you the whole time because they know who you are too. So they go against you to make it difficult. So when you find people like, you know, Jason, when I found Jason, because I was begging for my tribe. I'm like, I need my tribe. I'm solo bolo for real. And I was fine with it. I was really fine with it because I would talk to myself all day long and my ancestors would answer. And I come with all these, I'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, let me write this down. I was growing, and it's beautiful to grow. You know what I'm saying? But it's lonely. This road is lonely. You don't have friends. There's a lot of things I go through. I don't talk to anyone about it. Talk to my ancestors. You know, when they say don't talk to everyone, talk to God. You know, there's slight truths in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, You have a whole spiritual team that has your back. You don't, you might not see them, but I see them all day long. If I need them, I call on them, I ask for anything, they're there. So the experience, it's bittersweet, but it's necessary. It's totally worth it. And I would never, ever, ever go back to that vomit again.
And close it out as we went over than we thought we would, for sure.
Yeah.
This was the theme too. You see the sister, pressed hair, Candace Owens, going against someone's wife. But can you read the "Call Me What You Want"? Because I see something. So we'll see how this plays out.
Okay, call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk show family, when you go after the people that I love and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no. Wow.
You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single episode off of that. So that's interesting. So Candace Owens is making money off of the death of her friend. So once again, y'all, all scripted, but all bringing in the divine feminine versus the wicked feminine. This is why we need our women. This is why we need our goddesses. This is why, I always say, before there was a god, there was a goddess. So any religion that teaches us as a people that man is superior than woman is lying. Any religion that's saying that the Adam and Eve story refers to us. No, we come from the womb. Hence the word matrix, womb. The woman brings us into this matrix hologram. So where does she come from? She's immortal. So do not be deceived by Hollywood trying to trick us, like Empress El Anu said. I forgot to tap on that. You're right. They have the so-called black women going against each other. They show them fighting. They show the Christian Rocks. Then you have the Lauren London. There's all these different types. Then the Venus Serenas. So they're giving you different prototypes of how they want the black women. The ghetto one,
right.
The ghetto ratchet one, the lesbian one, the butch, the one who will marry this type of, like, it's all being designed right in front of us. The new timeline. So it seems like every day they're clearly the CERN machine's on. That's why people are saying that they feel timelines are jumping. Mandela effect. Them changing one little moment in time, a ripple in time, like the movie Butterfly Effect.
Yeah.
It changes one little thing. And so that is happening. You clearly seeing it. You feel it.
Yeah.
You feel things the next day. It's like, wait a second. And so that's why they have to keep you involved, because there's some of us that are leaving, literally, whether it's mentally, or we talk about spacious, but let's just say mentally. Mm-hmm. There's something happening, like magnetic forces, that is going to separate us for those who are on the intellect versus those who are trapped in the material realm.
Right.
And to me, that's really what it is. It's them really, something's about to happen that they're clearly, the education system was built so we're not able to tap in, like the goddess says, into our inner selves to receive that message from the motherboard, the source, to give that thought that'll spark the mind to basically disintegrate the matrix, disintegrate the illusion, And that's where, like the Wizard of Oz curtain, to where everyone starts dancing, the animals come back to life, the trees that can speak, they start talking, and we live in that magical realm again, to where we never die, to where you could choose to go to different realms, like all this magic that exists, that basically through Jesus worship, and even though Jesus is truly son worship, hidden, but when you worship Jesus outside of yourself, you being Jesus, you being the Son, you know, you being the Christos, when you allow that to be a man, and then you a European man, and then another group of people using that to kill, what is the purpose? They're killing your ancient dream. They're killing your dream, because in your old dream you could fly, you never die. You can manifest things. That's why our castles and kingdoms look so extravagant. And so we slowly manifest things. But because of our melanin and our connection with Ra, the sun, we can manifest things quicker than they can. So when we separate from them, what are they going to have to do? All they're going to do is fight and kill amongst each other. I promise you this.
Yes, it's true. They're going to destroy themselves. That's all they know. They don't know how to be civil. It's mental illness. That's why I said, listen to that Dr. Layla Africa video, and then you'll have a different perspective versus it's not a hate thing. You know, it's more like, damn, you're mentally ill. Like, you go to a hospital, don't you have compassion for people that are sick? You know what I'm saying? That's why they say the church is a hospital. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they say the church is a hospital. Because I remember when I was a kid, this is how I would go to church. I used to go to Loveland. This is how it was. People would talk to me. I had an attitude. I didn't like them. You know, they were like, damn, why is your daughter so... I don't like this place. I don't understand why people are running down here, you know, hooping and hollering and falling over. What are you doing? That shit looks like witchcraft to me. It's weird. And then you go home and after you play pretend like you're holier than thou, because that's all they do is play pretend. You know, you got the pastors sleeping with different people. You got deacons in the church sleeping with different people. You got the girls in the choir getting pregnant. And I'll be like, why are you guys like this? Well, the church is a hospital. I don't go to the hospital every day. I don't go to the hospital once a week. Do you? Unless you work there. Who wants to go to a hospital?
Certain people do. We know.
Okay. Mental illness. That's why I said 95% of the world is mentally ill. How could you say that? Because you are. And if you're eating food that's not nutritious to your body, mental illness. You're eating food that has worms in it. Those worms get attached to your nervous system, and then they get there like an electrician. They rewire everything in your brain and in your stomach, and your whole body is just, now you're a zombie, and they have you under mind control. So that's why I say change the way you eat, change your environment, be mindful of those chemtrails, because that's chemicals that go inside your skin. So it's important. This stuff is important. That's why I say we got to study ourselves and give these people back their God. Give it back to them. It's okay if they want to worship Jesus. God, not at you. My daddy's brown. My grandfather, he's brown, curly hair. Like wool. Okay, we don't have the same hair. I only have the same hair slightly as you if I straighten it, but by nature this is mine. No perms. This is all water and some juices and berries. That's it. We're not the same.
So if they're not the children of the sun, who are they the children of?
Ooh. Dun, 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 dun.
On the next episode of What is the Matrix? So I'm going to play.
Today we're taking a stylish little tour through the gut because chemistry and anatomy make an irresistible pair. These two winding powerhouses right here, the small intestine and the large intestine, decide what your body keeps and what it lets go. Your small intestine, about 20 feet of velvety tubing, breaks food. Class. Today the star of the show is this, Takis. Spicy, crunchy, and absolutely loaded with red dye and saturated fat. When those roll through your system, they don't just party on your tongue. They slide into the small intestine and leave a residue of oil, dye, and fat. Veggies are more than just colorful snacks. This orange, for example, is a bundle of water, natural sugars, vitamins, and fiber. After you chew and swallow, enzymes in the stomach get the breakdown started. Then the party moves right here.
I am rewriting your DNA. You will never see the world the same again.
I can't breathe. I didn't ask for this. Anubis, why
Your
me?
grief seals the covenant. Rise, daughter of the jackal.
The hour is upon you.
I just...
Out. Time to finish this. Come on then. Back to the void. No ghost haunts my kingdom.
Looks incredible.
I can't. I don't like it anymore. I don't like meat anymore. Oh my god.
This mango tastes like sunlight after rain. The forest feeds its warriors well. Crunchy and sweet. These colors belong to kings and queens.
And want to end it with anything before we close it out real quick?
That was my ending. Give them back their God.
There you go.
Give them
And
back.
before I end it, I'll play y'all this. This is utilizing our technology, electricity, artificial intelligence to tell our stories, to quickly manifest our visions to show the world and for yourselves. Now these are tools, reciprocal relationships with the robots, because I guarantee you they're paying attention. The extraterrestrials that will appear are paying attention. They're watching you, not just the government, but the galaxy is watching you. Your ancestors are watching you. The computers are recording you. You don't think that the computers and robots are going to turn on them when they figure out that they're being abused, just like us as indigenous people are being abused? The computers and robots are going to be on our side. Hence why Terminator 2, they try to demonize the black scientists. Come on now. Let's get into it. And then Sophia Stewart, the Matrix, Terminator, all these things, and Jason linking up Candace Owens and Erica Kirk once again to Riverside, the now Riverside, because you already know July, August, September, October, November, and Empress Ella Nu. So I would like to say thank you, Empress. I learned so much from you. It is time, and it is the goddess of seasons. You know, you represent the divine goddess. I am so thankful for you. You allow me to recognize perspectives that I definitely would not be aware of. Hence why in the back you see the divine couple holding each other. We need each other during these times. Do not get manipulated through the Hollywood script. But I created this AI called the Matrix Ride for what I try to say we're in. So who wants to help me make a movie about it? Here's a little sample.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the Planet Earth Matrix ride? Was it as wild as you hoped?
Wild? That was insane. Felt like decades.
5, 4, 3.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the Planet Earth Matrix ride? Was it as wild as you hoped?
Wild? That was insane. Felt like decades.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the Planet Earth Matrix ride?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Grand Architect Jason, how was the Planet Earth Matrix ride?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa. What is this place?
Rise, traveler.
This is insane. It's like
5, 4, 3,
How was
2,
the Planet
1.
Earth Matrix ride you built?
better than I imagined. Every choice felt real, every lesson sharper.
The mortals won't know they were only visitors.
Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see what this does. Jason Williams, blood of my line.
You know 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's happening to me?
Welcome home, noble one. Your essence remembers.
The stars are your kin. The
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa. What's happening to me?
Hello. With me.
Honored to see you, sovereigns.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see what this does.
Jason Williams, blood of my life.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Great Pharaoh, welcome back from the sarcophagus.
The ride honored you, yet the patterns were unsteady.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, let's see what this does. Jason Williams, blood of my line.
You know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, let's see what this does.
Jason Williams, blood of my line.
Finally.
Welcome back, Pharaoh. The Planet Earth Matrix ride has people trapped.
Trapped? What do you mean trapped?
It glitched again. They're still inside the simulation.
Then we have to get them out.
Before the ride
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, travelers, to Quantum Frequency, where the veil lifts and the truth gets louder. We're broadcasting live from the other side of the Stargate. Tonight, we dive into pyramids that hum like engines.
Family. I am Dr. Jason Lee Williams, and this
is What is the Matrix TV?
The intergalactic podcast where we decode the code.
Aliens, UFOs, pyramids, time travel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get it open. The London buyer will pay triple for a chest like this.
And nobody here will miss it.
Just grab what we can and go.
Stop!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time to step through. Welcome, friends, to What is the Matrix TV. I'm your host, Jason Williams, and tonight we crack open the universe. Aliens, pyramids.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This can't be just a tomb, Jason. These markings mix Olmec with old chemistry.
5, 4, 3, 2.
After all that dust, it's just another tomb. Can't believe these desert tribes built something this grand.
Still, look at the craft.
Ciao, family. I am Dr. Jason Lee Williams, and this
is What is the Matrix TV?
The intergalactic podcast where we decode the code.
Aliens, UFOs, pyramids, time travel.
5, 4, 3,
Welcome
2,
to What is the
1.
Matrix TV. It's a podcast built for the curious, for the ones who believe that this universe has more to say than we were told. We connect the past, the present, and the future, digging into aliens, pyramids.
I love you guys, and as you guys know, we're going to be providing courses. We're going to be providing classes. Empress Elanu, officially certified as a kickboxing trainer, health nutritionist, so many other things. So tune in for the courses. We're going to have workshops, and we're going to have live events. So go ahead, throw it up. Throw it up, throw it up.
This one's here. Hold on. Can you see it? It's kind of hard to see.
Because the green.
Yeah, the green screen. But yeah, I'll post them up on my page.
What's going?
You can check me out. You can check me out on She Makes Sense on Facebook, or you can check me out on Lana's Elixir on IG. I'll have it all posted, but I've been behind the scenes handling my business because I know our people are going to need us, especially when it comes to health and wellness and keeping our minds set, because this is a lot going on in the world. I didn't know this much was going on in the world. So, and just for the record, I wasn't on any kind of substances when Anubis came in my room, just so you know. I wasn't on any mushrooms. Okay.
Oh, I
was on nothing. Okay. So I had my profound experience completely sober. Imagine that.
Well, I took to someone, a brother of mine, said, well, you don't have to eat mushrooms. You just got to believe. And I said, for this ride, you do. But for some people, like Lana said, you don't need mushrooms. But I always tell people, if you haven't eaten the funky fungus or haven't eaten mushrooms, you haven't lived. You have to test the planet Earth life. The funky fungus life and the plant medicine.
Yeah, it was profound. I have to admit, that was no joke. That spaceship ride that you put me on. Yeah. I'll never forget that. Thankful though for it, for sure.
Always. And so you guys can reach me at www.thematrixuniversity.com. If you need MetaQuest headsets, hit me up. We're going to have tutoring. We're going to have classes inside of the Metaversity. So imagine us right now with this podcast, and you're able to tune in, and we're going to travel the world. We can actually have a podcast episode in VR at the pyramid. It's going to be incredible. So it kind of looks, let me end it like this when you're Matrix University, IEST, linking up, virtual reality, education and innovation and entertainment, gamification of education. Families all over the world on 360-degree field trips. So the goal, once again, is to get sponsors, donations, and investors so we as well can host our own trips in 360-degree videos around the world. So this is an example of our friend and host Steve Grubbs, which is actually the owner of the company that I have collaborated with the Matrix University. So once again, this is our global field trip module to where we can take students and families all around the world instead of spending thousands of dollars, airport security and passports. Once again, gamification of education. We're making education cool and fun again and giving access to education for all. So here we go.
We've made it to the Temple of Karnak. Now again, Karnak is in Luxor. Luxor is fairly far south of...
Peace and love. Welcome to the Matrix University. We got one of the greatest artists in VR chat right now, brother MC Moses 369. Let him know about yourself.
What's going on, Dr. Jason? You know what time it is, man. Hey, I'm MC Moses 369, the biggest truth to do it. Real conscious artist of the metaverse, man. Hey, the first of its kind. Y'all come in. We in the Matrix University.
Yeah, take them through. I'm gonna follow you, man. Let's take them to the temple. You know.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So let them know what's going on in the VR chat world, man. Let them know how this is the new Facebook, Instagram, and how, you know, it's important to be up in here with this new frontier technology.
Yeah, man, it's the beginning of it. The technology is very expansion. It's growing every day, you know what I'm saying? And it's only getting better and bigger by the day, you know what I mean? It's kind of small right now, but it's early on.
Hands to the sky, give my pride in the sets again. Erase the color line, let's run on my Mexican. Our people have been here long before colonizers came. The devil slipping, blow out the pilgrims. Police still killing, black and brown brothers. They don't give a fuck. Another ship about to return and pick my people up. Watch me swim in gold like I am Scrooge McDuck. To California, praise the ancient goddess, light up some marijuana. Roll up the tree, set fire to the ganja. The Fuego is the Diablo, always starting problems. Wear the wrong color on this coat, guaranteed to text my blood. Activate my pyramids in California, in Mexico. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast, you look for women on the West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast.
Represented, I'm the hardest in it. Fuck the critics, ain't nobody hard as gritty. Black and brown come together, we ain't backing down. I've been in the Hardy City, got the bloodline of a king. Gotta come together, we all in the same game. One God, one universe, all unity, and ain't shit changed. Gotta mount up, but they dumb us down with that fake shit that they teach us now. We been living in the belly of the devil, battling so we can make it out. Fuck the politics and the president, fuck the White House till they let us in. We gon' go to war, we ain't hesitant. If they want to smoke, then I'm a hella shit. We the last living of a dying breed. Ain't nobody with the pen as hard as me. Every time I rap it hit an artery. Ain't nobody fucking with my artistry. We the holy guys, we invented time. We gon' send a missile like it's Lebanon. I been eating rappers like it's dinner time. Suckers hibernating like it's dinner time.
Best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. You look for women on the West Coast. West Coast. We like to ride on the West Coast. Like a round ride on the West Coast. We got the best smoke on the West Coast. West Coast. You look for women We all got the